this really lousy night, so give it up for yourselves for coming out. It sucks out there. You know, I've been thinking a lot about when I was a teenager and how I used to sneak guys into my bedroom and fool around. And we'd have to be quiet so my mom wouldn't hear us. Anybody ever get caught? Did you ever get caught? Oh, that sucks. I was too slick for that shit. But, you know, as I got older and there were kids around, I realized nothing really changed because, you know, the kids are curious. They want to know what's going on behind those closed doors. They want to listen in. Now, one morning I got up and I was making breakfast and my stepson came into the kitchen. And he said to me, "I heard you praying last night." Really? I was praying? He says, "Yeah. I heard you say, 'Oh God, over and over again.'" I thought I was being quiet. And another time, he was about, I don't know, 12, 13 years old. He comes running into our bedroom one night, not long after we'd gone to bed. And he flips on the light, and puts his hands over his eyes, and he says, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, but I just threw up." I'm like, "Well, was that before or after you saw your dad and I making the beast with two backs?" Because I've caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I get it. Yeah. Anybody here like going to the dentist? Oh, come on, everybody loves going to the dentist.
Yeah,
I know you love it. I know, nobody likes going to the dentist. I know this because I'm a dental assistant. You know, nobody likes going to the dentist because we're always telling you to brush your teeth and to floss after eating, and none of you do. One of the strangest things about my job is that there's a small percentage of the population, the minute they put their ass into my dental chair, they suddenly become incapable of swallowing their own saliva. I mean, I haven't even gotten the bib around me. I thought, what the hell? I mean, come on, it's your own saliva, for God's sakes. Would you just swallow it? What do you do with it the other 23 hours a day, you freak? Pisses me off. But, you know, in honesty, I know going to the dentist is a very emotional and traumatic experience for a lot of people. So there's times when we use sedation. And every once in a while we'll give it to the patients too. Yes, indeed. And you know, when you sedate somebody for dentistry, you don't put them out completely. They're just like in this little happy twilight place. They can still respond a little bit. So we had this one lady sedated, and we're getting ready to start the procedure. And I'm behind the patient here, and the doctor says to her, "Open, please." She opens her legs wide. I look down at the patient. I look over at the doctor. I look down at the patient again. I look over to the doctor. "Hey, doc, I think she likes you." Go on, man, go on. But no, really, no, we don't do that. That's not nice. But, you know, I don't like to tell people what I do for a living, mostly because, you know, I'm at a party and I tell someone I work for a dentist. They're like, "Oh, I don't know this too." No, I don't really care. I'm off duty. Don't show me your teeth, really. But also because I don't like to tell people what I do because, you know, people think, "Oh, it's dirty and disgusting to work in somebody's mouth." Well, you know, it's what I do for a living. So I met the gynecologist one day. Got my legs up in the stirrups, you know, because that's how it's done. The doctor looks up from the exam. He said, "What do you do for a living again?" I said, "I'm a dental assistant." And the look on his face looks like he's just bitten into rotten, putrid meat. He says, "Oh my God, the mouth is such a filthy and disgusting place. I don't know how you stand it." I'm thinking to myself, really? Really? You want me to believe your job is so much better than mine? That is the pot calling the kettle black, buddy, because I happen to know not every woman has good grooming habits down here. Need a pith helmet and a machete sometimes. Worst thing that happens to me is, you know, got to pick out something gross out of somebody's mouth. Which brings me to my next point here. The best thing about my job is I never know what I'm going to find when I look in somebody's mouth. It's always an adventure. Had this one guy in the chair and I wiggled off his temporary bridge, and underneath, oh my God, was the biggest wad of pubic hair I've ever seen in my whole life. But I found comfort in that because I know that guy flossed after he ate. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He sure did. Now, oh my God, it was pretty gross. But what could I say, though? I've been told I'm not going to heaven. I know, big surprise, right? I've been told this by a great and powerful authority. I have been told this by the preacher man on the corner of State and Washington. Yes. We all know that guy, right? The older black gentleman who's out there pretty much on a daily basis in front of Old Navy telling us all we're all sinners and we're all going to hell. So one day, walking past, me and the preacher man, we lock eyes. He looks me right in the eye and he says to me, "You cannot enter the kingdom of heaven if you have fornicated." I'm like, "Well, shit, buddy, you're saying that like it's a bad thing." And, according to you, Mr. Preacher Man, everybody is a sinner. If you smoke a cigarette, you're going to hell. I'm like, really? Well, if that's the case, send me down because I'm going to have a lot of people down there waiting for me. They're saving me a seat at the bar of eternal damnation. And when I get down there, they're going to have an ice-cold, extra dirty Grey Goose martini with a never-ending supply of blue cheese stuffed olives because I'm not going to have to worry about my fucking cholesterol in hell. It's going to be awesome, so I'm okay with that. But the best part about going to hell, and there is a good part, is I am never, ever going to have to be woken up on a Sunday morning at 7 o'clock by a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses ringing my doorbell trying to save my sorry soul. I don't know about you, but to me, that kind of sounds like heaven. I'm going to share a little secret with you people. Come closer. I am the world's oldest living tumor. It's true. You see, when my mom was pregnant with me, they didn't have ultrasound. They didn't even have a blood test to determine if a woman was pregnant. What they used to do was they would take a woman's urine and inject it into a female rabbit. If that rabbit died, that meant the woman was pregnant. Well, my mom never killed any rabbits. I was her 4th pregnancy. She knew she was pregnant, but for some reason, the doctors were insisting that I was a tumor. They said, "Mrs. Vaccarella, no, it's just nicer to think that you're pregnant. That's a tumor that's got to come out." Well, this argument went on 5 months with my mom, between my mom and the doctors. And obviously she won that argument because I'm here today. And she thinks that because she saved my life, she gets a little extra leeway in giving me shit. And she does. Mom's was a lifelong smoker, and she's got that really raspy smoker's voice. And she's got emphysema and lung cancer, so she really shouldn't smoke anymore. So every once in a while she'll say to me, "I can still smoke if I want to." And I'm like, "Of course you can. Just be sure to turn the oxygen off before you laugh, okay?" Thanks. I had some people over not long ago, and everybody was out on my deck smoking. They put their cigarettes out in one of my empty flower boxes, and the next day Mom comes over. And after dinner, I'm cleaning up, and she disappears. I'm like, "Where'd she go?" I look out my kitchen window, and I will be damned if that broad is not out there, bent over the flower box, picking out each and every cigarette butt and putting it in her pocket. I'm like, no shit. So I walk out there, standing behind her, good 2 minutes. It's like she's won the lottery. She is so focused on getting those cigarettes. "Oh, here's a Winston, and a Marlboro, and a Cool. Oh, it's a Camel Unfiltered, my favorite." So finally, I said to her, "Hey, lady," she jumps up, she says, "I was taking the cigarettes out so the dogs wouldn't get them." I'm like, "Mom, that is so awesome. That is so great. Thank you so much for being so considerate, because I know those dogs are never going to get those cigarettes in your pocket." Like, "Mom, what are you doing? You're like a friggin' hobo here. What are you doing?" I said, "You don't even know where the hell those people's mouths have been." And she said, "Well, they're your friends." I said, "Yeah, that's my point exactly." And she looks up at me and just, "What do you know? You're just a tumor." That's my time. My name's Patty Vaccarella. Have a great year. It's been great all you guys up here.
Thank you, Patty. How you doing, Diego? You're okay. He's not hiding. I'm happy. Oh, where are you a pharmacist at?
Walgreens.
Walgreens?